What is up, diecast collectors? It's 9446 Network, back with another diecast review, and we got ourselves another Chevrolet, and boy, do I have some pretty interesting opinions on this one. Here is Alex Bowman's 2022 Ally Do It Right Chevy Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports. As you can tell, it is the next gen. This car is going to be in the Authentics wave, so I don't know how rare this one's going to be, but nonetheless, we're reviewing it. So without further ado, let's get it out of the box. And this episode, we're going to have only one car in this one. For the next two reviews, it looks like they're going to be single car reviews for now. We'll get back to the double car reviews sooner than later. But this is the only Chevy that came on its own. So we're going to look at it. And here it is. And right out of the box, no major issues on it. I do kind of appreciate that the quality control is pretty solid. Actually, never mind, yellow decal paper there, but not too terrible. It's actually, and as soon as I said all those things, looks like the back end wrap is coming apart. Now, well, not too bad, quality-wise, could be a bit better, but we're going to go into the paint scheme, because, like I said, I have a pretty interesting opinion on it, and I want to get that out there as soon as possible. So we're just going to get straight to the review. Got number 48 in yellow right there, Hendrick Motorsports right there, and you got the little flame decal Jimmy Johnson used to have. It's just a more modernized version of it. They started doing that last year with the Bowman cars. As you can see, the Camaro front end. Got Ally on the hood. You got Bowman's name on the windshield banner. Got Sunoco, Goodyear, and that is where that piece of decal paper was, and it's clear coated to the car, so that is not coming off. Let's see, NASCAR Cup Series, you got the gray, blackish type of rims, which is pretty interesting. They're trying to make it look like a realistic, dark, metallic, gunmetal, silver, gray color. So that's pretty interesting there. You got Ally 48, Alex Bowman, Acronis, Exalta, Cincinnati, Freightliner, and what is that, Mac Tools and Siemens. Got the 48 Ally right there with the side pipe exhaust. And Do It Right, Valvoline, HendrickCars.com, and as you can tell, the back end decal is overlapping onto the other side of the car a little bit, as you can tell, right there. Onto the back, get the crooked, this whole bumper is crooked, alright? This thing is shifted all the way to the other side, but it is what it is. You got Chevrolet, Ally Do It Right, Valvoline number 48, the giant Camaro logos, and yes, that's even something I had to fix on the custom templates. Giant taillights and a giant Camaro logo. So Ally Do It Right, Valvoline 48, ZL1. They don't put one LE on these, so I just ZL1. Ally Do It Right, Bowman's name, which is also a bit shifted. So even the windshield banners, guys. Let's see, Ally Do It Right. And now I'm going to get into my very spicy opinion on this paint scheme. This car, this diecast, right? I bought this for the diecast series. If I was not having a diecast series, I don't know if I would have gotten this paint scheme. And let me explain to you why. So, the first thing you're going to notice, before I even get to anything else on it, the most obvious part about it is that the white isn't even close to a white color. Here, let me get the Elliott test car so I can compare it. They even had it in the Authentics wave. Here it is. Look at the white on the test car and compare it to the Bowman one. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but they do have a white paint scheme for this. And it's not just a wrap. If you look underneath, that's legitimately the color of the car, it looks like. It looks like they actually painted it that cream white color. So why is it in this cream color? I don't know. Maybe it's just to make it look like it's the purple and the pink would stand out more and the blue. But that's really, really weird looking. It's not a detrimental thing. It doesn't ruin the diecast for me. It's actually quite unique and all, but I don't know if it's accurate to the actual car. That I cannot tell you, but unless I compare them. But yeah, this car is pretty interesting design-wise. So, right off the bat, it's that weird cream white color with the black bumper that Dale Jr. used to have. Paint scheme-wise, this looks a lot like a 60s and 70s Camaro type of paint scheme. They just throw on stripes on top of like a base model car with no anything special about the backdrop. It's just all white. Like, this actually kind of does look like it is an older Camaro type of scheme, because look at it, you know, you have the cream white, old style looking 60s white, and on top of that, you just have these stripes plastered on it, and I'm going to go over them. So you got the little thin blue, then the pink, the purple, and then the darkest shade of purple. Something interesting about the nose is that underneath the Chevy, you have the purple, like, just a random splotch of paint. And then they just put the two blue stripes continuing off of the L and Ally, both of the L's. You got the hood vents on there. They finally are starting to get those. You get the blue, that reddish pinkish, the purple, the reddish pinkish again, and the purple. It's a mouthful of colors. Alright, so, and then onto the sides of it, there's really not that much going on, right? So you have just those two purple stripes, the darkest, a little bit brighter, and then you got the pink, the reddish pinkish, and then the blue. And then the side skirt of the underbody. And then, on the rear quarter windows, you have a bit of that same pattern again, but it's just thrown onto that part of the side of the car. And then the rest of it is just this bland white color. Like, instead of giving us, like, a paint scheme like we got for the fan votes, and even the primary from last year, they just said, they were like, I don't know what color to paint it. I'm just going to paint it white and throw on purple stripes and stuff to see how it looks. Honestly, not the biggest fan of that idea. I really do wish they painted this car the full purple and given us, like, a legit, like, you look at all this real estate on the next-gen car. Alright? Look at all the space they had to give us a paint scheme that is, like, way more detailed than this. I mean, you've got a whole entire side, an entire hood, which they already would have that covered, I'm sure of that. But you have both of the sides big and a bit of the nose. Which is why this paint scheme is kind of, I'm not going to say it's the most disappointing thing in the world. It just could have been better, I'll be honest. This paint scheme could have been better. It's not the worst thing ever, but I'm kind of getting 2019 Nationwide vibes, where that paint scheme was just an atrocity. Like, that paint scheme was so bad. This one, I would say is, like, I wouldn't say it's just as bad, but it's slightly better and at the same time slightly worse. I don't know how to describe this car without belittling it, but if you want my opinion, that's what it is. I collect these diecasts for reviews and, of course, for the diecast series. Wow, I almost completely forgot to bring up the color of the number. So you have the Ally do it right with that lightish purple, and then the pinkish font to that, the coloring. And of course, the Hendrick 48, that's never going to change. They're always going to leave that as it is. But it's in that dark purple color. And it's going to be like this all across. And really, that's the paint scheme. Not too much to go over with this one. It's definitely one of those paint schemes where if you're collecting the diecast and you're only getting specific ones, you're probably not picking this one up. But if you are a diecast person like me, or if you like if you're a fan of Alex Bowman, which shout out to my channel owner, I know at some point he's gonna pick this one up. But this car, if either you're an Alex Bowman fan or you're collecting all the paint schemes, then you get this car. But if you're just getting like some paint schemes, I don't know if I'd throw this one in. This one's kind of a simple paint scheme that could have been a lot better, but it's like I said, I don't know how to describe it without belittling it. I'll just say it's interesting paint scheme. It's an interesting paint scheme that really only a mother could love. It is just not the prettiest car. But what I will give it is that it's a decently designed paint scheme. Is it the best one? Definitely not. I'd say definitely if you're going to get either last year's Ally car and this year's, get last year's car over this one. But this one, it's definitely interesting, alright? I'm going to leave it at that. You know, I'm going to respect everyone's opinion on it. It's a decently designed car. And another thing that the final touch I'm going to point out is the dark purple Alex and then the bright pinkish reddish Bowman. They colored that in. So I like how they're coloring his name in. At least that's cool. Honestly, to me, this is more of like a dirt paint scheme, alright? This is like a dirt late model type of paint scheme. This is not really a cup tier paint scheme. Like maybe some other diecasts we will be reviewing that really do look like they are cup worthy. But like I said, this paint scheme, an interesting one that could have and probably should have been better. But, you know, that's just my opinion on it. You're going to see this in the Flash Racing Cup Series. Alex Bowman will drive this. That's why I picked this up. And to give you guys the review of it. So here's the front of the car. Here's the hood. It's the right side. It's the back. It's the deck lid. It's the roof. Here's the left side and the chassis. Or the underbody, I should say, with the diffuser. And that's the paint scheme. So, yeah, it's definitely not the best paint scheme, but it's an interesting one. Like, if you're collecting all the paint schemes and you have them in your collection together, like this, like, it's definitely going to stand out. So, in that regard, it's not the worst. So, what do you guys think of this car? I know Alex Bowman fans are probably going to be 50-50 on it, and that right there is a really wobbly wheel. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that wheel is really, really wobbly. So, yeah, that's another quality control thing, guys. The wheel is wobbly. I mean, if you notice that, next-gen cars were meant to roll better, but the axle quality on some of these has to get better. So, other than that, you know, other than the quality, it's a pretty alright paint scheme. Like I said, I don't want to harp on this forever. But you have the black splitter and the black spoiler. Gotta bring that up, too. So that is the diecast review of Alex Bowman's 2022 Ally Do It Right. Not really sure if they did it right on this one, but it's a paint scheme that you can get. And of course, powered by biofuel. So thank you guys for checking this one out. What do you guys think of it? Like I said, I'm respecting everybody's opinion. I'm not forcing you to agree with me on this. But yeah, thank you guys for checking this one out. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next diecast review. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals in your diecast, and make sure you know what you're doing when you're designing a paint scheme.